Guys, it's Eternity and welcome to the Princess Eternity's talk show. This is the first official episode. I got my little mic over here. And today, the first segment that we are launching for this talk show is going to be kind of a more playful game show kind of style where I do some kind of deep dives into the internet, whether it's on Reddit threads, trying out different apps, playing different games. I kind of wanted to have a fun style segment for my show, something that is a little bit more lighthearted. I got my horror movies. I love horror movies. T-shirt on. Are going to be doing a look at some of the classic scary movies and kind of me ranking them. I have not seen all of them. I just got into horror last year, and I feel like horror movies last year were pretty sick. I really liked a lot of the scary movies. I'm going to be just basically talking about the ones that I have seen and maybe doing a part two, because I have a list of movies that I have not seen when it comes to the scary horror genre. So I'm going to be speaking specifically about the movies that I have seen, and then I'll probably do a part two maybe down the line. But before we get into it, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out, I'm going to put it here, check out my TikTok where I post music, I post different types of content, I post different hot takes, and yeah. Make sure you check it out. So first off, we're going to talk about probably one of my favorite scary movies, okay? And it is Get Out. I definitely feel like it has more of that psychological thriller, which I do. I love good psychological thrillers. Definitely the Get Out movie, when I watched it the first time, I was not expecting the ending. I would definitely feel like it's definitely my favorite because I did not expect it. And I like movies where you can't really predict the ending. I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10 for sure. That's definitely one of my favorite movies. I definitely want to rewatch it when it comes to scary movies. Jordan Peele is a legend when it comes to psychological thrillers. I mean, Us was also great, and Nope was really well done as well. So those three movies, in my opinion, I definitely did not know what to expect. And it's kind of like those movies where you really have to like watch till the very end so things can make sense. Definitely top favorites when it comes to scary movies. Next, we're going to talk about Aliens, okay? I have seen all of the Aliens movies, okay, from the very first one to the very latest one, which came out last year. I saw that one in theaters, and I saw it in like the 4DX. I was so uncomfortable. I don't know why people find movies where the seats are moving and then it gets hot and then it gets cold. It was so uncomfortable. But honestly, I do love a good Aliens movie. The first Alien movie that I ever watched, I think I was like an older teenager, and it was the Covenant one. So that one was like recent at the time. It was the one that came out before the recent one that came out last year. So Alien Covenant, that one definitely scarred me. It was very graphic and very gross, okay? This one, the latest one, was also quite graphic and disgusting, especially the end where she gives birth to the god-awful alien. I don't know what they call it, a xenomorph, whatever. That was gross, okay? So I would probably give like the basic Alien movies, like Alien 1, the first one, the second one, and the third one. Alien Resurrection, I didn't think they were that scary, but also those movies were made before I was born, and I watched them way later. So of course, I was probably criticizing the CGI. It didn't look as realistic, But Prometheus, that one definitely fucked me up. So that one I would give a 9 out of 10, okay? Alien Covenant also fucked me up when I watched it for the first time. I was so disgusted, but I thought it was a pretty good movie. And then Romulus, it's not my favorite. I definitely think Covenant and Prometheus were way better, but it definitely still kind of gave that gross horror factor, especially near the ending. Like I was talking about the birth, her giving birth to an alien. That's definitely... I can't do it. That scene is so disgusting. Like, that's literally what I think giving birth is like. It's literally the Alien movie is based off of pregnancy. You can't change my mind. You cannot change my mind. You cannot tell me the Alien movies are not based on what women have to go through when it comes to giving birth. I don't want to. We have The Quiet Place. So I saw The Quiet Place, the first one with Emily Blunt. Okay, we love Emily Blunt over here. And I really did like it. I definitely think, again, especially the fact that she was pregnant. I don't know why. Why are you pregnant in a scary movie or end of days apocalypse type of situation? Doesn't make any sense to me. But the fact that she was pregnant and due to give birth, and there's these monsters out there that if you make a noise, you're done. And she gave birth in that circumstance. That definitely added onto the anxiety. And for me, when it comes to scary movies, the more anxiety, the better. The more anxiety inducing it is, the better, because it just creates that suspense. How is this person going to get through it? How are they going to challenge them? I like to be on my toes the entire time, and I feel like that movie definitely, it felt like you had to hold your breath a little bit. Like, it literally felt like you had to hold your breath. The movie really was very intense. To be fair, I did watch the movie high, so I think it definitely made it worse. There's a lot of these scary movies that I've seen high, so the experience is a little bit more enhanced. So, but this one I think was really well done. I do like both of the Quiet Places movies. I did see the newest one as well, like I believe came out last year. No, it came out this year. That one was pretty good, but I did prefer the first one just because I think, like, I don't know why, but I like that idea of like staying inside, like being confined to a specific space. It's like there's only so many places where you can run. I feel like it just increases the anxiety when it's happening in the house. So Quiet Place for both of them, honestly, I would rate them pretty high up. Next, we got the Purge movies. Personally, for me, I didn't really think the Purge movies were that scary. I think that the first three were pretty well done, but the last two were ass. Sorry, but the first Purge was not good. I found it so boring. I was like, oh my god, like, please let it be over. And then the Forever Purge was equally badly done. I think I could see what they were trying to make, because I mean, the franchise itself definitely talks about example, like how, when the purge is happening, how governmental systems are taking advantage of the lawlessness for their own benefit, right? And then we have in the movie, it speaks about how different communities are affected by the purge. And of course, it talks about, discrimination. It talks about poverty. It talks about how race is affected into it, which we all know realistically, if the purge happened, like, that makes sense. Like, marginalized communities would unfortunately be targeted in instances like that. But I just felt like it just didn't give. I don't know what it was about those two movies. It didn't give. It didn't feel authentic. I really liked the first one, again, when it's in the house with Ethan Hawke. I think that one was really well done. I think they really set themselves up when it came to that Purge franchise, and it's the movie that made me really like it. The second one is my favorite one, where the main character is trying to get revenge on Purge night and he's helping all these different people. That one, I watched it when I was like 14, and I really did like it. I really did like it. And the third one was the election year. That one, I watched it later. Again, it wasn't my favorite, but I feel like, again, the first three were kind of like a good solid. I would have ended it on the third one, but I would say the first one, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. The second one, I would give it an 8. The third one, I would give it a 7, and then the other two, I would give it a 4. Those last two ones were not that good. Sorry. Okay, now we have The Invisible Man. So this one, I didn't really have that many expectations. I mean, it came out in 2020. I honestly didn't think I was gonna like it, and then I watched it and I was right. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It felt a little gimmicky. I don't know. I like to be forced to watch movies. I will watch the movie when I'm ready. And that was one of the movies that I waited a while to see because I didn't have any high expectations. And unfortunately, it did disappoint. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10. Okay, next is Midsummer. So Midsummer was actually a pretty good scary movie. I think a lot of people when I heard about like reviews about people talking about it, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, you're gonna be so scarred. It's gonna be so hard for you to watch. You're gonna feel so sick and this, that, and the third." I don't know if it's maybe because I became a very big, avid, scary movie fan by the time I started watching it, but honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Now, of course, there was a lot of graphic scenes and a lot of questionable, like very disturbing plot points, but I don't know why. I love a good cult movie. I love a good scary cult movie. Obviously, Florence Pugh is like super talented when it comes to scary movies. She is made to make scary movies. And I know that she discussed how like it was really hard for her to film that. But I think she did a great job. It was one of my favorite scary movies, not gonna lie. I'm definitely gonna give it a 9 out of 10. When I was watching the movie, I could sense myself forgetting that it's a scary movie, which I kind of liked a part of it because you couldn't really suspect, like you could tell there was something very wrong from the moment they stepped onto, for the moment the festival started, but you just couldn't put your finger on it because everybody was so happy. Everyone's dressed in these nice, beautiful, flowy gowns, and you can't really pinpoint what's going on. And I really like that because, again, it's kind of like those movies where you really have to sit and watch the movie in order to figure out like what is really going on. And I feel like they really did that. They really did a good job building that suspense. So Midsummer definitely gets high rating for that, for being one of my favorite scary movies. Okay. We have Talk to Me. This one came out in 2023. When it came out, it was super big. I didn't think I was going to be able to handle it because I feel like I have my limit when it comes to like scary movies. But I feel like it's kind of gone up and up. Like movies that I never thought I was going to be able to sit through and watch, I have been able to watch. I watched it. Honestly, I didn't think it was as scary. I don't know. Like I was expecting it to be a little bit scarier. I thought it was a good movie. I would give it a 7.5, just like I was expecting it to be scarier. And honestly, again, when I started watching these scary movies, my tolerance for like horror kind of went up. So maybe if I saw it when it came out, I think I would have thought it was way scarier. But again, I watch movies late, and by the time that I watched it, I was already really deep into the horror movie portal where I've seen what I've needed to see. So it didn't scare me as much. Okay, we've got Pearl, classic Pearl. I've seen all of the movies. Mia Goth, I definitely think, is also another really great actress when it comes to scary movies. I actually liked all three of the movies. I would definitely say the second one is my favorite one just because I felt like there was more action, there was more disturbingness to it than the first one and the third one. But overall, generally, I think all three films alone are pretty good. I would rate them a 7 out of 10 for all of them. I would probably rate the second one, I believe it's X. I forgot which one came out first. I think it's X, yeah. So Pearl is, I believe, the first one. And if I'm wrong, I will make a note of it. But I liked X the best. So I would give that one an 8. Third movie was the worst in my opinion, but overall, like the trilogy of the movie itself, I thought was done very, very well. Next, we're going to talk about the clown movie It. Okay, I don't like clowns. I don't like clowns. I don't like scary clowns. I don't like funny clowns. I don't like anything that has to do with clowns. So I told myself I probably wasn't going to watch the movie because I genuinely don't like clowns. Like I don't understand. No shade, no lie. The It movies are not scary. I feel like it's like scary if you're like 15. I haven't seen The Terrifier yet. So maybe I will change my mind when it comes to scary clown movies. So that's definitely on my list of scary movies to watch. And maybe I will change my mind, like I said. But the It movies, 3 out of 10. It was boring. It was boring. It was lackluster. Again, I didn't like it. I don't like anything to say. Megan. Okay, I went to go see this in theater. Honestly, I actually liked it more than I thought. I didn't really like the second one. I don't know what it is about sequels. A lot of times they just fail to disappoint me. The sequel was kind of ass, but the first movie, I feel like they did it really well. Again, this one is one of them that I went to go see in theaters, and I thought it was really funny. I thought it had like a good balance of like a little bit of humor, and then like obviously like this is a murderous robot that, you know, is out for blood. I thought they did it really well. I thought it was a really good balance, because I think sometimes with horror comedy, it can be a hit or miss, because it's like it's supposed to be scary and you want to maintain that scary element, but involving comedy that also fits into the plot is very tricky. And I think that Megan is kind of like one of those movies that I feel like did it really well. It was a good standalone movie. I don't think the sequel needed to happen, in my opinion. I feel like they were leaning too much on comedy and not enough on the scary robot part, you know? So that's why I don't like the second one, because, you know, where's the thriller? Where is the thriller? Because YouTube was showing me that commercial every single, like 3-4 times a day, and it kind of ruined the experience. But I just didn't like I liked the first one, but I didn't like the second one. Okay. Next we got Carrie. Carrie is a classic scary movie. Okay. I would definitely say that, again, this is coming from someone who's watched all of these movies later on. I can understand the hype of why Carrie was a very famous and popular scary movie. It's very different. It's a very different type of theme. I feel like it kind of gave me the energy of like The Craft, even though Carrie came out first, but I saw The Craft first and I liked The Craft. But I don't know, like I really liked Carrie. I thought it was like a really good, like unique scary movie. There aren't a lot of scary movies out there like that. I know that it had multiple different versions. I haven't seen all of them, but I believe I saw the very first one that was ever created, plus the sequel. Like the first 2 ones that came out. So like the one in like 1976, I believe, is when it came out, and then the part 2. I usually, when it comes to older movies, it's very rare that I will watch like the remake of it, because it's like, okay, like we know the plot, yada yada yada. I prefer watching the original because it's like, it's the original. Watch it. So I like Carrie. I would definitely give it an 8 out of 10. I feel like I wish I watched it earlier. It's kind of like one of those movies where I wish I watched it earlier, because I feel like I would have loved scary movies. Like that movie would have been the one that got me into scary movies, honestly. It was really good. All right, so next we got Evil Dead Rise. This one this one gave me nightmares. That one was so graphic. I actually was expecting it to be less scary. It was scarier than I thought, and honestly, I'm glad, because I was having a hard time finding scary movies to really scare me, and that one did the job. I actually watched the very original one as well, because I didn't realize it was a remake of one that I don't remember what year it was, but I watched that, and that one, even though it was like an older movie, I think it was well done as well. Again, I'm very picky about movies, especially older ones, because I'm like, oh my god, the CGI looks horrendous, but that one was done pretty well. Both of them were very graphic. Like I'm getting the images running in my head now, and I'm like, that one I definitely give it a 9 out of 10. Definitely when it comes to scare factor, I don't know if it was because it was extremely graphic, and again, like when it comes to paranormal movies, it could be a hit or miss. Like it really just depends on how it's executed, but I definitely feel like that one scared the shit out of me. Another movie that scared the shit out of me was The Deliverance, okay? The Deliverance, ooh. What was worse is I was high when I watched that. An accident, okay, is what I meant to say. I did not intend to watch that movie, The Deliverance. I did not intend to watch it high, because if I knew how scary it was gonna be, I would have made sure. But it was one of those nights where I was just, you know, because I used to, before, like when I would be going to work, I would have my little puff in the evening before bed as kind of like a way to decompress. And I was just going through a phase where I was watching scary movies every single day, and for some reason, The Deliverance was brand new. I didn't think it was gonna be that scary, and boy was I wrong. And I couldn't sleep. I really couldn't. That's what my dumbass gets for smoking the Mary Jane and then watching a scary movie. Like, it fucked me up, okay? So, The Deliverance also gets a 9 out of 10. I definitely think that was probably one of the best paranormal movies that came out last year. So, congratulations for The Deliverance. Now we got The Nun. Hey! I've seen all the Nun movies. I didn't think they were scary. I thought they were like good, like but I didn't think it was scary. Like I was expecting it to be scarier. That one I was definitely, because you know, one of my friends was like telling me like, oh my god, I was so scared, and I was like, this, that, and third. And I was like, oh really? Well, if you were scared, I know I'm gonna be scared. Turns out I actually wasn't that scared. It was a good movie, but it wasn't as scary as I was expecting it to be. And that's kind of like when people give me expectations when it comes to specifically scary movies, because we all have different tolerances for scary. Some people can handle it, some people cannot. I feel like, again, because my tolerance for scary movies has increased, where it's kind of like I did like this exposure therapy where I just watch scary movies and kind of desensitize myself to it. There's a lot of scary movies that I don't find scary, and The Nun was just one of them. I'm sorry, it didn't scare me. It was kind of like gimmicky. It was good. Like 6 out of 10. Pretty forgettable in my opinion. Ready or Not. So I believe they're doing a second Ready or Not. I don't know when it's coming out. Honestly, probably one of my favorites as well. I would give it a 9 out of 10. That one I feel like was really done. It wasn't in a sense of, I think, just scary. I think that one was also a really good balance of horror and comedy. I think the actress Samara Weaving as well, she's very talented. I think that she has a place in scary movies as well, and I definitely hope that she continues to make scary movies in the future. I think she played her character very well. I really like the concept and the plot. I think that the movie just kind of flowed really well together. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I really liked it, and that was kind of like those movies that I wish I watched like in theaters at the time, because it was really good. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I really liked it from start to finish. I was not expecting the end scene where they all exploded, okay? And that's what I like about it. It was just like different. I feel like you couldn't, again, predict the next steps. And yeah, 9 out of 10. Ready or Not was definitely up there. Definitely top of the top for sure. Next, we got Insidious. Okay, so I have seen all the Insidious movies. Not scary, okay? Not scary. Everybody was telling me it's gonna be scary. I was not scared, okay? I found it like, I felt like it was a good, like, I think like Insidious is a good series to get into if you're just starting to get into scary movies. Also, same thing with like Annabelle, The Conjuring. I'm gonna put them all together because I know they kind of all go together, but that entire franchise, like generally speaking, again, some of them are better than others. I mean, there's so many movies, so I'm not gonna get into it. I'm trying to think of the one that stands out to me the most. I would probably say the first Conjuring movie is definitely the one that stands out to me the most. But generally speaking, I mean, there's so many movies, and I haven't seen the newest one yet, so I'm gonna definitely plan on watching that. Maybe I'll go to the theaters and watch it, because I do like to watch scary movies in theater. But generally speaking, I don't find a lot of paranormal movies super scary, so I think that's probably why I would rank it maybe like a 7, 8, depending on which movie we're talking about. A little bit of backstory when it comes to scary movies, kind of like as a little intermission. So I started watching scary movies, like I would say last year. Like I've always loved psychological thrillers. I could handle some scary movies, but I was never really a big fan until last year. It was due to me being depressed. Yes, I was severely depressed and actively going through a very serious depressive episode. During that time, I was very numb. So I think the reason why I gravitated towards scary movies is because when you're feeling apathetic and you're feeling numb, you're not experiencing a lot of emotions, whether it is those kind of like highs or even lows. It kind of felt like I was feeling nothing. So scary movies, I felt like were kind of my way of evoking some kind of reaction. Even if it was fear or disgust, it was better to experience that than to experience nothing. So it's probably the reason why I gravitated a lot towards scary movies, and even watching them while I was high. Maybe I should watch them. I don't watch scary movies high anymore because I don't think I could handle it. But when I was very actively depressed, like I would have my puff of Mary Jane and then put on a terrifying movie, watch it in the dark, and go to sleep soundlessly. The only times I had nightmares were, again, when I watched The Deliverance High and then when I watched Evil Dead Rise. But other than that, I was pretty much like going about my day. And again, these are movies that I would never ever watch, but for some reason I fell in love with scary movies and they helped me get through my depressive episodes. So I know it's weird. It's like, why would you watch scary movies when you're depressed? But honestly, they were very comforting during that time, and I found a lot of, I don't know why, I found a lot of comfort in them, so I just fell in love. And these ones are more recent as well. So we've got Fear Street, we got I believe they came out with 4. I actually liked all 4 of them. I thought that that was probably a really good franchise. I thought every single movie kind of had a place when it comes to explaining the timeline. I believe it was about Shady Side, yes. So basically explaining the timeline. And I liked how it also went backwards. I watched all of them and I think my favorite one would definitely be the camp one, which is the one with Sadie Sink, and I think that's the second one. Yeah, so I really like that one. I like the whole series, even the new one that came out with Prom Queen. I really thought it was a really good, strong, scary movie series. So I would definitely give that one an 8 out of 10 as well. I really did like it. Next, we've got Annihilation, classic. Okay, that one was with Natalie Portman. I'm not gonna lie, I watched that movie when I was high as well, okay? And maybe it was the Mary Jane, maybe I need to rewatch it sober, but I didn't find it scary. I don't know if maybe it's a memory thing. I don't remember the movie. I might have to rewatch it because a lot of people really liked it. Generally, the movie itself, I would have to rewatch it sober because when I was high, I don't know what it was. I don't remember the movie. I remember being uncomfortable, but I don't remember the movie. So I feel like giving it a rating is not fair, but watching the movie, I would definitely give it like a 7 out of 10 just because I don't remember too many parts of it, but I definitely remember feeling that sense of uncomfortability and like suspense and wondering like what the hell is gonna happen, which is kind of what you want to feel when you're watching a psychological thriller or a scary movie. So I definitely feel like it's up there. A lot of people talk about this movie. A lot of people really liked it. So I feel like I should give this movie a chance and rewatch it with a sober mind because I don't know what it was, but it didn't really have that effect on me when I was high. Speaking of high, I also watched Bird Box High and I actually liked it. I felt like it enhanced the experience for some reason. I felt like I was in the movie. I know that sounds like, girl, like, were you not stressed out? Were you not having panic attacks? Like, why would you put yourself in that situation? I don't know if it was Sandra Bullock that helped me get through it, but definitely one of my favorite scary movies as well, Bird Box. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Trevante Rhodes is also in it. But yeah, I'd probably rewatch that one again. Like the ones that I give 9, for sure are movies that I would rewatch again given the right setting. I thought Bird Box definitely deserved the hype that it got. I definitely watched that movie late as well, but it's definitely, I understood the hype. Like it was a good movie. The next scary movie that we got is The Boogeyman. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that one definitely left me a little bit disturbed too. I don't know what it was. I think because of the suspense that you couldn't really see the boogeyman's face. You couldn't really you could tell definitely that the entity itself was like very evil and like you felt very uncomfortable throughout the movie. I definitely felt like it was a little bit lackluster compared to the other scary movies that I've seen, but I would definitely give it its props for, again, that sense of uncomfortability that I like personally when it comes to scary movies, of like not knowing exactly what it is, but like you can feel it, you can sense it. Like when it comes to, again, especially paranormal scary movies, it really is about the deliverance of how the characters portray whatever entity is haunting them, whether it's in The Conjuring, The Nun, whatever. It's like you have to do a lot of convincing, and sometimes when it comes to paranormal movies, sometimes it can feel a little bit gimmicky, but I feel like The Boogeyman didn't feel like that. Like I genuinely was like scared for these little kids, okay? But generally speaking, I feel like it doesn't really stand out when it comes to its other counterpart. All right, and we're gonna end it off with the Final Destination movies. How could we not talk about Final Destination? This one, I'm gonna go kind of like movie by movie and kind of explain. So the first Final Destination, which is the plane crash, I definitely feel like that movie was pretty good. I think that I needed time to recover from the Final Destination movies because that one definitely made me very paranoid. I was walking around thinking, fuck, I'm gonna trip on something and I'm gonna slip my throat open on that piece of glass or whatever. Like, it definitely made me paranoid for sure of knowing that you could literally just die from anything. But it literally made me really like the movies as well, because I was like, oh, I want to know more. Like, what are other ways? Like, what are other ways you got to watch out for, you know? So I genuinely liked it. I would definitely say my favorite one is the third one, the roller coaster one. Ooh, that one I remember watching when I was really younger, and it is the reason why still to this day I don't fuck with roller coasters. Okay, I don't like roller coasters. I think I forced myself to go less than 5 times in my entire life, and I'm completely fine with that. To roller coasters, I don't like it. So the second one is the infamous high wave one, where the premonition was about like those tree logs. I thought that one was pretty good as well, but a little bit forgettable compared to its counterparts. I mean, I know that like the log scene itself, like the highway, definitely stands out, but I would say the movie itself, like apart from the premonition, I don't remember a lot of it. It felt a little bit lackluster. So I would definitely rank the first one and the third one higher than the second one. So the second one, I'd probably give it like a 7. And then the other two, I would definitely give it an 8, 9. I have the racetrack one, which I also feel like was a little kind of maybe is not as popular as the ones that I just mentioned. But I actually really liked that one, the racetrack. So that's the Final Destination 4. That one, I actually really felt like I liked it. I would say that's definitely my second favorite one. And then the fifth one, which is also the bridge one, kind of unforgettable, but you know, it has its place. Final Destination Bloodlines, which came out, I believe, this year. That one was also pretty good. Well, I would probably put that in my top 3. And I would give that one like an 8. So that was me ranking a list of scary movies. Again, there's probably so many that I have not named that probably some of them on my shirt, like the Scream movies. We got Freddy Krueger, we got Jason, we got Michael Myers. Like, there's so many other scary movies that I have yet to make an opinion on. So there's a lot of them that I haven't seen. Like, I still have to finish watching the Saw movies. What else do I have to watch? I have to watch Children of the, what is it called? Children of the Corn? Village of the Damned? The Hills Have Eyes. I know that one's pretty fucked up. Jeepers Creepers. Oh God, I'm dreading that one to watch. The Terrifier. That one I'm also not excited to look forward to because again, I don't like clown movies. But a girl's gotta do what she's gotta do. If I'm gonna report and I'm going to make an honest opinion about scary movies, still have to watch The Exorcist, which I have not watched yet. The Poltergeist, like, there's so many stuff, you know? Yeah, let me know what scary movies you love to watch. What would you rank the ones that I said? And thank you guys so much for playing. Press play, and I'll see you guys on episode 2.